So for the first time in the history of our industry, we expect revenues to be in excess of $1 trillion. So that's great news, and it's a huge figure. However, when you look at the bottom line, the net profitability of the industry, it remains wafer thin, about $36.6 billion. Again, that's a big figure, but in margin terms, it represents a margin of about 3.6%. So these are very, very small margins.
The profit per passenger for the industry as a whole is predicted to be $7 per passenger in 2025. So it's obviously a ridiculously small number, you could think. And then, you know, this industry average is obviously spread unevenly across the regions. So we do have the Middle East actually really not bad at $24 per passenger. Followed by the US at $12 per passenger, and then followed by Europe at around $9. So those exceed the industry average, whereas the remaining three regions, meaning Asia Pacific, Latin America, and Africa, are all below the industry average, and Africa is as low as $1 per passenger.
All the research that we do indicates that people do appreciate the value of aviation. I think when it comes to governments, I'm not so sure they fully understand the economic contribution that aviation makes and the impact that decisions that they take can have on that economic impact. In some cases, I see governments looking to tax the industry, often driven by the large revenue figure, without any understanding of the bottom line wafer thin profitability. And it's very important that people understand that interfering with the efficiency of the industry not just impacts on the airline industry, but can have a massive impact on the economies of the countries that the industry serves. Supply chain issues are actually now having a very significant impact on our cost base and on the direction in which the industry is going. This has become incredibly frustrating for airline CEOs and airline management teams around the world. There's no end in sight to the problem. And the impact it's having immediately is that aircraft now are operating in service for longer. The average age of aircraft is the highest it's been. That's having a big impact on our operational costs because the fuel efficiency of older aircraft is not as good as new aircraft. Higher maintenance costs, lower reliability. So it's having a massive impact, and without question, the bottom line profitability, the environmental performance of the industry would have been much better if the supply chain key players had got their act together. We need to see them take action. Words are not good enough now. We need to see them take action to address this issue. Airport charges, despite what airports will say, is a significant part of our cost base. Air traffic control charges, a significant part of our cost base. The efficiency at airports and air traffic control can have a big impact on our network. And unfortunately, we've not seen much progress in those areas. In fact, in many cases, airport charges are going in the wrong direction. Air traffic control delays are going in the wrong direction. So we need more from our partners in the wider industry. We need a more efficient air traffic management system supporting the industry. We need airports to understand just how important they are to sustaining the growth of the airline industry, particularly as it comes to maintaining, but more importantly, expanding the network that airlines serve. But when you consider the amount of airspace that is now closed or unavailable to commercial aviation because of geopolitical issues, that's a big concern because we're seeing the number of flights increase, but the amount of airspace available for those flights getting lower and lower. And that will impact on delays, it's impacting on cost, it's impacting on fuel efficiency, it's impacting on our environmental performance. So I think geopolitical issues will continue to play a big part in the airline industry performance in 2025. Now, where we go with environmental issues is going to be interesting, because I think it's fair to say that even under Trump's first administration, there was a lot of progress on environmental issues in the US. But under the Biden administration, we saw very significant financial support through tax breaks, the Inflation Reduction Act, being very supportive of the additional production of sustainable fuels. And there is a risk that the benefits that the industry witnessed under the Biden administration may not continue under the Trump administration. So I think on the environmental front, there's still a lot of unknown there that we'll be watching very carefully as we go through particularly 2025, but more importantly into 2026.